Welcome along, fellow time travelers. In this video, I'm going to tell you the history of the song Hotel California, and then I'm going to discuss interpretations of the lyrics, and then talk about its cultural impact on fans of the song and the band, and its contributions to music history. Now let's begin our journey. Hotel California by the Eagles resonates deeply with people who grew up listening to it during their childhood, teenage years, and even in their 20s due to a combination of its musical qualities, thematic depth, and the cultural context of the 1970s. Here's why. The song features a blend of rock with elements of country, folk, and even classical music, creating a rich, layered sound. That famous guitar interplay between Don Felder and Joe Walsh, particularly in the extended solo, is both technically impressive and emotionally evocative, offering a sort of cinematic quality that few songs achieve. The melody is both captivating and haunting, with a sense of melancholy that invites introspection. The lyrics are poetic, filled with imagery that is both beautiful and ominous, allowing for personal interpretation which can change over time as listeners grow and reflect on their own lives. The Eagles were known for their tight vocal harmonies, and in Hotel California, these harmonies add to the song's allure, creating a sound that feels both comforting and mysterious. The Eagles were at the peak of their influence in the 1970s, embodying the California sound, which was a blend of rock, country, and folk. Their music was the soundtrack to an era of change, exploration, and the pursuit of the American dream. Much of the Eagles' music, including Hotel California, tells stories or paints vivid pictures, resonating with listeners on a narrative level. This storytelling aspect connects with people on an emotional and personal level, making each song a mini journey. So that's a bit of a grand overview. Now let's talk about the history of the song. Hotel California was released as the second single from their album Hotel California on February 22nd, 1977. This track was collaboratively crafted with music by Don Felder and lyrics by Don Henley and Glenn Frey. Henley delivers the lead vocals, while the song is famously capped with a mesmerizing 2-minute, 12-second guitar solo where Felder and Joe Walsh alternate leads before harmonizing in a stunning display of guitar interplay towards the fade-out. This song has cemented its place as one of the most celebrated recordings in the Eagles' discography. Its significance is further highlighted by the 1998 poll conducted by Guitarist magazine, where its extended guitar coda was voted the best guitar solo of all time. Moreover, the song clinched the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 1978, underscoring its impact on the music industry. The lyrical content of Hotel California has sparked endless debate regarding its interpretation, while the Eagles themselves have described it as their take on the high life in Los Angeles. Don Henley elaborated in the 2013 documentary History of the Eagles, suggesting that the song represents a journey from innocence to experience, encapsulating broader themes of temptation, excess, and the inability to escape one's choices. Since its debut, Hotel California has been lauded as one of the greatest rock songs ever recorded, influencing countless musicians and leading to numerous covers. There was once a proposal by Julia Phillips to turn the song into a film, but the band members were not keen on the idea, and thus it never materialized. In terms of commercial success, Hotel California ascended to the top of the Billboard Hot 100 chart and secured top 10 placements on various international charts, reflecting its global appeal. The Eagles have played Hotel California live over 1,000 times, making it their third most performed song, trailing only Desperado and Take It Easy. This enduring popularity underscores the song's timeless appeal and its status as a staple in rock music history. Don Felder, the Eagles guitarist, began the creation of what would become Hotel California in a rented house on Malibu Beach. He started with a demo using a Rhythm Ace drum machine, adding layers with a 12-string guitar on a 4-track recording deck in his spare bedroom. This initial recording also featured a bass line, which he then shared with bandmates Don Henley and Glenn Frey. Felder's connection to the Eagles was through his high school friend Bernie Leadon, who had suggested that Felder record his song ideas to share with the band, particularly with Henley, known for his lyric writing prowess. Felder's demos were typically instrumental, and for each album project, he would present 15 to 16 concepts. The distinctive sound of the Hotel California demo was a blend of Latin and reggae influences, which Henley described as sounding like a Mexican reggae or bolero, leading to its initial working title, Mexican Reggae. This unique musical fusion caught Henley's interest, as noted by Record World, which observed a mild reggae flavor in the tune. Upon hearing Felder's demo, Frey and Henley were immediately drawn to the melody and started discussing potential lyrical themes. In a 2008 interview, Felder elaborated on the lyric writing process, explaining that the song captured the mystique and allure of driving into Los Angeles at night, a city of dreams and illusions for non-natives like the band members. The glow of the city's lights on the horizon inspired a narrative about the pursuit of dreams and the realities that come with it. The theme of Hotel California was further shaped by Henley, who was inspired by the Beverly Hills Hotel, which had become both a literal and symbolic focal point of their experiences in LA. He describes this period as the end of the innocence, reflecting on how the band was navigating life, love, and the business in this new, almost mythical environment. Frey envisioned a cinematic narrative for the song, where a weary traveler, after a long drive through the desert, stumbles upon the hotel for respite, only to find himself trapped in a bizarre, inescapable world. He likened the song's structure to an episode of The Twilight Zone, where each new scene or door opened up a different, surreal reality. They aimed to craft a song that felt like a narrative film, filled with vivid imagery of a guy on the highway, a picture of the hotel, the guy walks in the door opens, strange people. Henley took Frey's concept and wrote most of the lyrics, drawing additional inspiration from personal experiences, including his breakup with Lori Rotkin, which is reflected in lines like, "Her mind is Tiffany twisted, she got the Mercedes Benz." There was also a playful nod to Steely Dan in the lyrics, "They stab it with their steely knives," a response to a line in Steely Dan's song Everything You Did, where they referenced the Eagles. Frey acknowledged that the song's writing was influenced by Steely Dan's lyrical boldness, aiming for a similar, perfect ambiguity that could evoke multiple interpretations from listeners. This collaborative process resulted in Hotel California, becoming not just a song, but a cultural touchstone, encapsulating themes of excess, the pursuit of dreams, and the inescapable nature of one's choices, all set against a backdrop of hauntingly beautiful music. The recording process for Hotel California was meticulous and took place over multiple sessions. Initially, the Eagles recorded the song at the record plant in Los Angeles, where Don Henley took on the lead vocals. However, the first attempt was in too high a key for Henley's voice, leading Felder to lower the key from E minor to B minor. This first version was also deemed too fast. The band then moved to Criteria Studios in Miami to continue refining the track. In Miami, the band worked on perfecting both the music and the lyrics, recording several full takes before selecting the best parts from 5 or 6 of these. The final version was pieced together from these selections, with their producer making 33 edits on the 2-inch master tape to create the released version. A notable feature of the song is the guitar duel in the ending, between Joe Walsh, who had recently joined the band, replacing Bernie Leadon, playing a Fender Telecaster, and Felder on a Gibson Les Paul. This section required detailed work, taking about 3 days of close collaboration. Although Walsh and Felder initially improvised, Henley insisted on sticking to the structure from Felder's original demo. However, according to their producer, some improvisations did make it into the final recording, with different guitar licks from both musicians being spliced together for the harmonized guitar parts. Despite its length of over 6 minutes, which was unusual for radio singles at the time, Henley pushed for Hotel California to be released as a single. Felder was skeptical, and the record company was initially hesitant, fearing radio airplay issues. Nevertheless, the band insisted on releasing the song in its entirety, and it became the second single from the Hotel California album, following New Kid in Town. The single's cover art in some international editions was a modified version of the album's artwork, which featured a photograph of the Beverly Hills Hotel by David Alexander with design by Koch. Hotel California quickly became one of the Eagles' most celebrated songs and a staple in their live performances. The first live recording of the song was included on their 1980 live album, An acoustic rendition with a flamenco-inspired intro by Felder was featured on the Hell Freezes Over reunion concert in 1994, which was also released on CD and video, showcasing the song with 8 guitars for a richer, more Spanish-influenced song. A music video for Hotel California was filmed at the Capitol Center in March 1977 and first broadcast in August 1985 on the USA Network's Night Flight program. This video later aired on VH1 and was re-edited in 2013 for inclusion in the History of the Eagles documentary. In a historic moment, during the Eagles' introduction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1998, all 7 members of the band, Henley, Frey, Felder, Walsh, Randy Meisner, Bernie Leadon, and Timothy B. Schmidt reunited on stage to perform Hotel California, marking the only time all members played together at this event. The song's enduring appeal and the band's commitment to its integrity in terms of both recording and performance have cemented Hotel California as a landmark in rock music, capturing the imagination of audiences worldwide with its mysterious narrative and intricate musical composition. Hotel California made its first appearance on Billboard Hot 100 on February 26, 1977, and quickly ascended to the top, claiming the #1 spot for 1 week in May of 1977. This was the 4th time the Eagles had achieved this chart-topping success. The song also managed to reach number 10 on the Billboard Easy Listening chart in April of 1977. Now let's talk about the song's themes and interpretations of its lyrics. The creation of Hotel California was described by Glenn Frey as an experiment in crafting something intentionally strange, drawing inspiration from the novel The Magus by John Fowles, where the protagonist navigates through unfamiliar and mysterious circumstances. Don Henley has provided various interpretations over the years, with descriptions ranging from a narrative of losing innocence to a broader commentary on American society. In one interview, Henley noted the song's symbolic exploration of America, touching on themes of darkness versus light, good versus evil, and youth versus age. He further elaborated that it was about the dark side of the American dream, critiquing excess, narcissism, and the music industry's culture of the 1970s. The song has been interpreted as an allegory for the decadence of Hollywood and the music industry, reflecting on hedonism, self-destruction, and greed. Henley has emphasized that while Hotel California might seem specific to Los Angeles, it's indeed a critique of broader American cultural and societal issues. In response to a critique about the lyrics' reference to spirit in relation to wine, Henley clarified that the mention was metaphorical, not literal, aiming at commenting on societal changes rather than alcoholic beverages. He suggested that the spirit referred to could symbolize the spirit of activism from the 1960s, which had waned by the 1970s, replaced by a more hedonistic, materialistic culture. The multifaceted interpretation has kept Hotel California relevant and subject to continuous discussion, reflecting its deep cultural impact and the enduring intrigue of its lyrics. Let's dig in a bit deeper. The lyrics of Hotel California by the Eagles have sparked numerous interpretations due to their metaphorical nature, leading to a wide array of speculative theories among listeners. One notable interpretation from the 1980s came from Reverend Paul Risley of Cornerstone Church in Burlington, Wisconsin, who alleged that the song was about a hotel in San Francisco that Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, had supposedly bought and turned into a satanic church. This claim was part of a broader narrative where the song was said to contain backward messages with satanic themes. However, Don Felder, one of the song's writers, explicitly refuted these claims in a 2019 interview, clarifying that Hotel California was meant to be a commentary on, quote, the underbelly industry in Los Angeles, how it can be less than beautiful, end quote. Another theory suggested that the Hotel California in the lyrics referred to the Camarillo State Mental Hospital, which was closed in 1997 and later transformed into California State University, Channel Islands. This interpretation posits the song as an allegory for mental health struggles, entrapment, and the inability to escape one's own mind. The term colitis, from the song's opening line, warm smell of colitis rising up through the air, has been subject to extensive interpretation. In Spanish, colitis translates to little tails, but in Mexican slang it refers to the flowering buds of the cannabis plant, suggesting a reference to marijuana. Glenn Frey confirmed this, explaining that colitis was about the very top of the plant, which has a distinctive smell. The Eagles manager, Irving Azoff, also seemed to support this interpretation, linking the song to marijuana use. However, Felder provided an alternative view, describing colitis as a desert plant that blooms at night with a peculiar, pungent, almost funky smell, attributing this detail to Don Henley's lyric writing. Beyond these, Hotel California has been interpreted in various other lights, ranging from a metaphor for drug addiction, where the hotel represents the inescapable grip of substance abuse, to even darker themes like cannibalism, reflecting the song's ability to evoke a sense of dread and entrapment. Don Henley also commented on these diverse interpretations, stating, quote, "Some of the wilder interpretations of that song have been amazing. It was really about the excesses of American culture and certain girls we knew. But it was also about the uneasy balance between art and commerce." End quote. This statement encapsulates the song's critique on lifestyle and the music industry, highlighting the tension between the pursuit of art and the commercial aspects that could lead to moral and personal compromise. The richness of Hotel California lies in its ability to be a canvas for individual interpretation, where listeners project their own experiences and understandings onto the lyrics, making it a continuously relevant and discussed piece of music. Each interpretation adds another layer to the song's narrative, ensuring its place not only in music history, but also in cultural discourse. Now let's try to interpret the song's lyrics. Verse 1. On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. This sets a lonely, isolated scene, possibly symbolizing the journey of life or the path to fame, with the cool wind suggesting a moment of peace or freedom. Warm smell of colitis rising up through the air. Colitis refers to the leaves of a plant, possibly marijuana, introducing the theme of escapism or indulgence. The warmth contrasts with the coolness, suggesting allure mixed with danger. Up ahead in the distance, I saw a shimmering light. The light could represent hope, illusion, or the promise of something better, drawing the traveler or listener forward. My head grew heavy, and my sight grew dim. This might indicate fatigue, disillusionment, or the effects of substance abuse, suggesting the journey is taking its toll. I had to stop for the night. The decision to stop reflects a moment of surrender to one's circumstances or the pull of the hotel's allure. We then move into verse 2. There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell. The she could symbolize temptation, fame, or the American dream. The mission bell might allude to California's history or a call to one's fate. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven or this could be hell. This line captures the dual nature of the experience, potentially divine or damning, reflecting the song's theme of duality. Then she lit up a candle and she showed me the way. The candle might symbolize enlightenment or seduction, guiding the protagonist into deeper involvement. There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say. The voices could represent other souls trapped or the echoes of one's past decisions, hinting at an ominous atmosphere. And then we go into the chorus. Welcome to the Hotel California. The invitation to enter signifies entering a new phase or life, one with no easy exit. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely face. The repetition emphasizes the beauty or the mask of the place or life, which might hide more sinister truths. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. This suggests an endless capacity for more victims or participants in this lifestyle. Any time of year, you can find it here. Indicates the perpetual nature of this state or situation. There's always an entry point. We then move into verse 3. Her mind is Tiffany twisted. She got the Mercedes-Benz. This describes the superficiality and materialism of the inhabitants, with Tiffany twisted suggesting a mind warped by wealth, and Mercedes-Benz a play on words for luxury and perhaps inner turmoil. She got a lot of pretty boys that she calls friends. This reflects on the shallow relationships fostered by such an environment, where beauty and status are currency. How they dance in the courtyard, sweet summer sweat, paints a picture of indulgence, pleasure, and perhaps the fleeting nature of happiness. Some dance to remember, some dance to forget. This line delves into the psychology of the guests. Some are here to relive past glories, others to escape their realities. We'll then move on into the bridge of the song, with the lyrics being as follows. So I called up the captain, please bring me my wine. The captain could be a figure of authority or death, with wine symbolizing both celebration and escape. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. This is often interpreted as the death of the 1960s idealism, or the spirit of innocence, replaced by cynicism or excess. And still those voices are calling from far away. This reinforces the haunting, inescapable nature of past choices, or the call of fate. Wake you up in the middle of the night. This suggests restlessness or the inability to escape one's conscience or reality. The chorus is then repeated, and then we move on towards the ending of the song. Mirrors on the ceiling, the pink champagne on ice. This indicates a life of vanity and luxury, but with a surreal, almost grotesque twist. And she said, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. This is a pivotal line. It suggests that everyone in this place has contributed to their own entrapment through their choices. And in the master's chambers, they gathered for the feast. This alludes to a darker, perhaps sacrificial or indulgent ritual, highlighting the excess and moral decay. They stab it with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast. The beast might represent addiction, corruption, or the darker aspects of human nature that persist despite attempts to eradicate them. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. This is a moment of realization or regret, the desire to escape the consequences of one's actions. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. The attempt to return to innocence or simplicity which might be impossible. Relax, said the Nightman. We are programmed to receive. The Nightman could symbolize death or fate, with programmed to receive suggesting an inescapable destiny or system. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. This is perhaps the most famous line in the song, encapsulating the theme that while one might physically leave, the psychological or moral impact remains. So those are some of the interpretations of the lyrics of the song. If you think differently, please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now let's talk about some trivia associated with the song. The chord sequence in Hotel California is somewhat unusual, and it has drawn comparisons to other songs, notably We Used to Know by Jethro Tull from their 1969 album Stand Up. This album was a significant success, reaching number 1 on the UK album charts and number 20 on the US Billboard album chart. Ian Anderson, the frontman of Jethro Tull, has humorously pointed out the similarity between the chord progressions of the two songs, suggesting that the Eagles might have been influenced by hearing We Used to Know, either on the album or during a shared tour in July of 1972. However, the timeline and involvement of the Eagles guitarist Don Felder, who wrote the music for Hotel California, complicates this theory. You see, Felder did not join the Eagles until 1974, well after their tour with Jethro Tull, meaning he was not present at those concerts. In response to the allegations, Felder has explicitly stated that he was unaware of We Used to Know and was not familiar with Jethro Tull's music beyond knowing that their lead singer played the flute. Ian Anderson later clarified his comments, noting that his remarks about the similarity were intended as a lighthearted jest rather than an accusation of plagiarism. He explained, quote, "It's not plagiarism, it's just the same chord sequence. It's a different time signature, different key, different context, harmonic progression. It's almost a mathematical certainty that you're gonna crop up with the same thing sooner or later if you're strumming a few chords on a guitar." End quote. This highlights a common occurrence in music, where different artists might accidentally use similar chord structures, given the limited number of combinations in Western music. This discourse sheds light on the broader discussion about musical influence versus direct copying in songwriting. While chord progressions are fundamental elements of music that can appear in various songs due to their inherent properties, the context, rhythm, melody, and lyrics significantly differentiate one composition from another. Anderson's acknowledgement underscores the idea that within the vast landscape of music, such coincidences are not only plausible, but expected, emphasizing the shared heritage and evolution of musical ideas rather than intentional replication. On July 13, 2022, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office announced charges against 3 individuals for their alleged involvement in the sale of Don Henley's handwritten lyrics for Hotel California and 2 other songs from the same album. The accused were a rare book dealer and 2 rock memorabilia specialists. They were accused of conspiring to sell these documents, which prosecutors claimed were improperly obtained, potentially fetching over $1 million at auction. All 3 defendants pleaded not guilty and were released without bail as they awaited trial. The case brought to light issues surrounding the authenticity and legality of music memorabilia, with Eagles manager Irving Azoff commenting that it revealed, quote, "the truth about music memorabilia sales of highly personal, stolen items hidden behind a facade of legitimacy," end quote. The origin of these documents traces back to when writer Ed Sanders was working on an unpublished biography of the Eagles in the late 1970s. In February of 2024, during the trial, Don Henley testified that he had never gifted or relinquished ownership of the lyric sheets. He reiterated his 2012 assertion that these documents were stolen from his barn in Malibu, California, many years earlier. Henley acknowledged allowing Sanders access to these materials for research purposes, but clarified that he never intended for Sanders to keep them permanently. Sanders, though not charged, was linked to the case for having sold approximately 100 pages of these lyrics to Horowitz in 2005, claiming they were sent to him by Henley's assistant. The narrative took a turn when the defendants began auctioning these lyric sheets in 2012, leading to legal action. Defense attorneys argued that Henley had legally given Sanders the documents, thus challenging the claim of theft. However, a significant development occurred on March 6, 2024, when the Assistant Manhattan District Attorney announced the abrupt dismissal of all charges against the defendants. This decision was made mid-trial when the judge was informed that newly disclosed emails supported the defense's contention about the fairness of the trial. These emails, which came to light after Henley waived attorney-client privilege, apparently raised significant doubts about the prosecution's case, leading to the charges being dropped. This case not only highlighted the complexities involved in ownership and authenticity disputes within the memorabilia market, but also underscored the challenges in prosecuting such cases, especially when new evidence can dramatically shift the legal landscape. Following the dismissal, Henley's attorney expressed disappointment and indicated that Henley would pursue his rights in civil courts, suggesting that the legal battle over his iconic lyrics might continue in a different arena. Now check this out. The song has been performed at least 2,204 times by 167 different artists. The band itself has performed Hotel California 1,057 times. These performances span their extensive career from the peak of their fame to their reunion tours, making it a staple in their live shows. After his departure from the Eagles, Don Felder, who co-wrote the music, has performed Hotel California 202 times on his own. His renditions often include the song's iconic guitar solos, which he helped craft. Don Henley, the song's lead vocalist, has also included Hotel California in his solo setlist, performing it 187 times. These performances sometimes include different arrangements or introspective takes on the song's themes. The sheer number of performances by the Eagles and its former members, as well as by other artists, reflects the song's universal appeal and its status as a rock classic. It's notable that Hotel California not only continues to resonate with audiences, but also inspires interpretations and tributes from across the musical spectrum. From intimate acoustic sets to grand orchestral renditions, the song's adaptability in live settings has kept it fresh and engaging for both performers and fans alike. Now let's talk about why the song has so much appeal to its fans. Let's be honest, shall we? Contemporary music often lacks the kind of deep, layered storytelling that Hotel California offers. The song's ambiguity allows listeners to project their own experiences onto it, something rare in an era where music is sometimes more explicit or genre-specific. There's a perceived authenticity in the Eagles' music that modern pop often can't replicate due to the heavy use of digital production and a focus on short, catchy tunes rather than musical exploration. Hotel California feels like a crafted piece of art where every note and word has been considered. The song's themes of entrapment, excess, and the search for meaning resonate universally. Yet, they also echo personal growth, the trials of youth, and the recognition of life's complexities. This personal connection creates a longing for music that speaks to one's soul in a similar way. In a time now filled with digital distractions, Hotel California provides an escape into a moment where music was a primary form of storytelling and emotional expression, a stark contrast to the often fleeting nature of modern tracks. For many, Hotel California isn't just a song, it's a time capsule, evoking memories, emotions, and a sense of a bygone era where music had a different, perhaps more profound role in people's lives. To listen to it is to step back into a world of both glamour and introspection, something that feels increasingly rare in today's musical landscape. So, what do you think of the song Hotel California? Does it bring you to a different time and place when you listen to it? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell because there will be more videos like this one, and I hope you check those out too. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. This channel is sponsored by CampfireShop.com, where you could order the highest quality candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. I would also appreciate it if you can become a member of this channel. You could also leave a super thanks in the comments below. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow Earthlings and please do not harm them. And do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.